What's up, and welcome to a Friday edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you, along with Quinn Pushkar. We got EB down there, and Paul Munson making his triumphant return between the raindrops here on this Friday, guys. It's soggy, but it is Friday. It's supposedly this is supposed to blow over in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So hopefully that's the case, and we can play some ball. Unfortunately, what?
I don't know if it's going to blow over.
Oh, okay.
Checking the weather, man.
Check the weather from the room. There we go. See which way the wind's coming in. Does anybody else still pick up the grass and throw it up and see which way it blows? I do.
When you play golf, maybe.
No, like when I do broadcasts, if I'm in center field, like I'll pick up the grass and be like, because like every time I'm somewhere, there's no flag. Other than Scene Park, there's no flag anywhere. I take that back because Salem has the flag literally on the press box. So it's that awkward moment where they say, "Would you please remove your hats and face the flag?" And everybody's looking at you, and you're like, "Oh boy!" like no, you just point like at the flag because like we have stuff that we have to do while the national anthem goes on, like play commercials or whatever, and like you feel bad because you're the guy leaning over and like clicking, so. You just kind of let it go. You sit there like, okay. But, no, I hope this blows over. Ron Potesta says it's going to be 6:40, and the Scrappers are going to play tonight, but everything else on the network has been toast, canceled out. So, and everything it's seen is toast, but that was really it for us tonight, other than obviously – the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, YSU with an early exit last night, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Kind of a bummer. But before we get to anything, it's going to we'll introduce the National Day. So we had a hard time picking this one because it's National Beef Burger Day, also National Brisket Day, but it's also National Road Trip Day. So it's kind of a two-part question. You can pick either your favorite burger or your favorite brisket, and I hope somebody says G. Burbick Farms, or you can take kind of the other approach and say your favorite road trip that you've ever had. So Quinn, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna go favorite road trip. I went to the Sugar Bowl a couple years ago with Switka, and it was wild. We were up for 37 straight hours. Came back June. What was that? January 2nd. We came back, and I got right to Valley Christian right on time to coach the JV game, actually. So wow. It was a fun time.
Did you room with Switka?
I did. He's a snorer.
I figured as much.
Don't expose people like that. I mean, people are insecure about snoring. I mean, now he's going to be like, I can't room with anyone anymore. You got to get 2 rooms.
There's Billy. Internet back?
We'll see.
All right. Let's go, Muncie. What's your take here? Road trip or burger?
I'll actually combine the two. So the favorite road trip I had was my senior year at YSU. We went on spring break, and we drove from here to Panama City. And while we were going down that way, we stopped at some roadside, just, one of those things that you see on TV shows. Like it was just a roadside little diner kind of place. And we had probably one of the best burgers that we'd ever had down. It was in Alabama. We were in Alabama, so it was really good. And then 5 of us piled back in a car and made it to Panama City, and don't remember much after that until we were coming home. So,
was it like a legit burger, like a hamburger, like from a cow, or was it something else? Like,
no, it was a hamburger. Like it was one of those diners, like I said, you see on TV where you can go sit at the counter and there's a huge grill there, and like it was just. Listen, this was way back, obviously before COVID and everything. I mean, wagon wheels and stuff. So, the guy was just, hands on the burger and throwing it down on the grill, and away they went, and it was delicious. So down south, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of, worrying about gloves or anything like that.
I don't think COVID ever hit the South, if you've ever been down there.
Yeah. So,
Mac, what's your favorite burger, or what's your favorite road trip you've taken?
I mean, my favorite road trips are always baseball oriented. I have a great time. We go down to Texas. I mean, it seems like every year. Last year was a bummer. with COVID, not really anything open, but baseball is usually always my trips. When we go to California, we had a great time out there, Texas, San Antonio, and Laredo. Listen, I just had a brisket from G. Burbick Farm, so I'll be the guy who busts the sponsor out here. But it's fantastic. Still got a couple slices in the fridge. I had a steak from there too. You can't beat it, man. You just can't.
Can't beat it, mate. EB, go ahead.
I'm kind of a road trip guy, but it seems like sort of like Mac. All my road trips are like formed around basketball, at least as of late. My favorite road trip, I don't know. Like Roses to me is always kind of a fun ordeal, even though there's really nothing that we do too exciting. The best road trip was probably, or craziest, is when we drove out to California, which I highly suggest never doing that if you get the opportunity. It is the most miserable drive in the world. And then we stopped at this place in New Mexico, and dude, it was like a scene out of the movie Joyride. Like you had some dude in the back like flipping burgers, stains on his t-shirt, like flies, like swats a fly with it, and then flips the burgers with it. And I was like, I think I'll just get a Snickers, dude. Like I'm good, man. like
Alabama.
Yeah, you got some dude back there, candy cane, just like it's that was kind of a wild one. But I mean, brisket. I've never had G. Burbick Farms brisket, but I love his burgers, and I know, especially if you go to Risers, everyone loves his burgers from Risers because that's who does it. If I did do a brisket around here, Smokeworks, they're a food truck. They have some pretty good brisket, so can't knock on them either.
No, I'm a big fan. I mean, you have turned me on to the Sespe burger, which has changed my life. And there is a difference though between Sespe at Birdfish and Sespe like at the main place.
Huge.
I can't figure
difference.
It out.
Huge
I cannot
difference.
figure it out because it's the same people. It's just I don't know if it's the ride home that kind of messes it up or what it is, but I mean maybe it's the beer that makes it taste better from Birdfish. I don't know.
Could be the grill. The grill could be different. The outside grill compared to an inside one.
I don't know, man. It's just like going to Birdfish and eating food is always so much better. So it must be something with the beer. But the atmosphere is great. Sarah and I took the girls. Like, listen, the girls are 4, and it was a great atmosphere for them to be around. Very family friendly. We had Italian the other night, so it was really cool. Really cool.
It's packed last night. My cousin's in from Vegas, so us siblings all met with her for a little bit, and like it's not just like an adult place. Like with all the pinball machines, and they have t-shirt machines and stuff, like there was equally probably like one kid per every adult last night. And wow. People like I think it's great because parents are like, hey, it's a place where we can all get together and hang out, and the kids actually have something to do.
And I love that they keep bringing in different food trucks, food vendors, because like you can get tired of the same place time after time after time, but like you'll never get tired of going having a beer and then eating like a different food, trying something out. And that's, I mean, it's a little bit more expensive for a food vendor for a food truck, but understanding that you're going to spend the same amount if you go to a fair, you know what I mean, stuff like that, which we haven't had much of over the last year and a half or so. So. I thought I love Birdfish. It's no secret. Love being there. The atmosphere is great, and glad my wife loves it now, and obviously the girls super excited to go anywhere. So, but I will say my favorite road trip has been with the South Range baseball / softball teams. When we go down to Myrtle Beach, I was bummed to miss this past one, but those are my favorite trips in the world because. Anything around sports, because you're doing what we do during the day and during the morning, and then sometimes even the evening. But after, it's just getting to know each other, building relationships, having fun, talking about baseball, talking about sports, talking about school, things of that nature. it takes that relationship to another level. And people always get on us about, oh, South Range Network, da 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 da. No, well, here's the thing: South Range spends a lot of time on us too. People get on Paul, people get on Anthony, people get on me, even though I'm not from South Range. But they were also one of the first ones to join YSN. So they've been. Paul, you and the whole crew have been more than inviting of us and bringing us in as one of your own. So we appreciate that, and obviously we're excited to talk about South Range here in the next segment. We're going to talk about with the games that happened yesterday, guys. Unbelievable. We watched actually the Ursuline game right here on the Power Hour. Quinn was on it for a little bit, and we watched Ursuline dismantle their opponent. Billy was calling the game as we were kind of taking it all in. Billy, was the game over literally halfway through the national anthem, or was it just the perception?
Brookside was a semi-small team. So, and you saw some dominoes fall in their district and kind of said, what happened over there? And they got upset by, not by Brookside, but the team that Brookside faced in the district championship. I don't remember who they were, so forgive me for that. But and they won a 3-0 game. So you wonder, like, all right, well, do they have a dominant pitcher? And when I seen her warming up, I looked at Anthony and said, this is going to be really quick. This one's going to go real quick. And the game went 7 innings, but it really wasn't close ever. 3-0 in the first inning, and the wheels were off. Defensively, Brookside had a hard time just making plays. They started making mental mistakes. Balls were dropping where they shouldn't have, and then you had a couple home runs, and Emily Holland's on the mound or inside the circle, so you're not going to score 7-8 runs off Emily Holland. Nobody has this year, so why would I think anything different to this point? So once you got to like 6-7, in my mind it was just cruise control, and you could kind of tell with the Irish they were just trying to get out of the game. But the back pick is what the back pick was interesting to me in the 7th inning, because for what I had no idea you guys were doing that. Yeah. So the back pick started a whole new spark for the Irish, because it was like you could see like they're making substitutions, they're just trying to get the bench players in the game. And when they threw the back pick and that ball sailed into the outfield, you could just see, all right, let's go then. Let's just play. And 6 more runs came into that last inning after that.
Yeah.
You got to wonder, looking at their bracket, Billy, like you said, they beat the 1 seed, Wellington. They beat them 12-3. Wellington won their opening game 25-0. And
so Wellington was the heavy favorite in that division.
Yeah.
So
that district.
So Brookside beats them 12-3. I got to wonder, because West Salem Northwestern was the 5 seed who beat the 4 seed to get to this championship game there. They beat them 2-0. You got to wonder, did Northwestern just come in there going, holy crap, who the hell's Brookside? They just pounded the number 1 seed, and were they intimidated? Because they only lost 3-0. But you didn't
you almost don't know. I don't, just by looking at the team wasn't like it. The team belonged there. I'm not trying to take anything away from Brookside, but like Ursuline's a buzzsaw. Same thing with like the South Range and Poland and teams that are unfamiliar. You just don't know. Maybe you don't do enough research on your opponent once you get out of districts, because districts everybody kind of knows something about each other, and then when you get into regional play, you're like, oh, I don't know who this team is. But it just didn't look like they were ready to play, and Ursuline was. They were more prepared.
Do you think there was an intimidation factor? Everybody knows who Ursuline is at this point, right? They've been ranked number 1 in the state, number 2 in the state, depending on who you ask. Do you think people just went in and went, oh boy?
Yeah, I've said to Kate this whole week, even about last night with Mooney's game, was it's a big deal when you beat Ursula and Mooney. I don't care what the record is. That name means something to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. So whether you face an Ursula or Mooney or a team with that statue, with that name recognition, it's a big deal. It can be intimidating, but you're always, for the most part, as a coach at Ursula, we always got everybody's best. So everybody played up to us. It was everybody's World Series to a certain degree. I mean, Paul has seen it with South Range after they won the state championship. I mean, everybody knew who South Range was, so they're gonna get everybody's best from there on out. It's the same type of atmosphere for teams. And Brookside just didn't look from Jump Street. You know, the body language never changed. They were in the game, but after the 3-inning first, it was just like the aggression of the game just went away, or maybe just never had it to begin with.
Yeah, I'm really interested I mean, Saturday is going to be fun. And what are we talking about Saturday? We're talking about Ursuline, and we're talking about the other team that played yesterday. We're talking about South Range. The Raiders advance, and it was the Bree Kohler show. Bree hitting a 2-run jack and then shutting out the other side. She did everything but drive the bus home yesterday. Obviously a team sport, but Bree Kohler continues to have her name shine in bright, bright letters. Billy, tell us about this one.
Yeah, I think it's a fair statement that the Raiders go as far as Bree Kohler will take them. That's not to say that there's not other pieces in there, because that lineup is as dangerous as Ursuline's. I mean, I expect a slugfest, but whose pitcher is going to break? You know, I mean, you're going to have a couple different pitchers going in for maybe Ursuline potentially. You have Paige Ogden, and you also have Emily Holland that you don't know, and you're not going to know until the first pitch is out there. The way Coach Canan keeps that to his vest, and I would can only imagine that Bree Kohler is going to be the pitcher for South Range. I wouldn't expect anything less, and she's really good. I mean, as good as advertised. It's the second time I got a chance to see her this year, or third time I got a chance to see her this year. As good as advertised, and she gets better as the game goes on. She gets more confident, and her pitches start to develop when she throws her changeup and that front door curveball. I've been calling it a little bit of a slider because it's hard. Anthony wants to correct me and say it's a curveball, but my definition of a curveball is a little different than his. It's a little bit slower, and I'm like, it would be like a similar to a boy's slider, because it's breaking. It doesn't break more of like a 10-2 or a 10-4 look. It's more of like a 9-3-ish kind of deal on a clock, if you're looking at a clock, and it's thrown pretty hard. So, and that pitch is devastating because she'll come back in with a screwball, which has the reverse, so like a 3-9. So it's a hard pitch, and she starts dominating that pitch. It's going to be tough sledding for the Irish, and then again, just the different angles that Coach Kernan can throw Paige and Emily. They could flip-flop innings and do whatever they want there, and that's going to be challenging. I'm excited because I think in the softball, in our area, softball, this is the one matchup we wanted and we haven't been able to get to this year, and we're finally going to get it. And it means everything because this is a bid to the Final Four in the state.
Paul, I was just going to ask you, I mean, obviously one of the last days of school, you guys are still there. Was there a buzz today just kind of talking about we want Ursuline, because we've talked about it. This is the game we've wanted. Is this the game that the Lady Raiders have wanted this entire time to stamp their season as official?
Surprisingly, like a lot of the girls weren't really talking too much about it today. The people who want it are the coaches. The coaches have done their homework. They've done the research. Coach DeRose and Coach Farron, like they've been sitting there. They know. They've sat there. Coach Farron sat there with like both images by each other. He goes, these two teams mirror each other so much. There's percentage points that separate them, and ERA and batting average and everything else. And he goes, flip a coin. He goes, we're just as good as they are. They're just as good as we are. He goes, so let's get it on. I think they're more excited. The girls, literally these kids walk around like zombies half the times anyway. So they're just kind of going through the day like it's the last day of school. All right. They got tests next week, but they were just kind of, okay. A couple of them had some bumps and bruises on them, because they played hard yesterday, but they're ready to go. It's them. Thankfully, it's that mindset. It's another game.
And that's what I was just going to ask, EB, from a coach's standpoint, do you like that? Do you embrace that it's just another game to them? Or are you hoping
I don't know what the hell that was, but it was awesome.
Max Dog. Are you hoping that there's a little bit extra mustard in the packet, so to speak, when it comes to a game like this? Like, which side of the coin do you want from your team?
I think it's hard to answer because, especially when you're in playoffs, like, there's always a different atmosphere. whether it's football, softball, baseball, basketball, because you're not guaranteed a next game. So the I guess your preparation and your focus and everything is a lot different. I don't want to say it's like any other game, because it's not. Because any other game, if you lose that one game, you can still get another game. This one, your season's done. So I would say the feeling's a little more heightened compared to a regular season game. Now, I think your preparation is and your practices and everything kind of stay the same, because that's what you want. You want the consistency and the preparedness to be the same. So you prep like it's any other game, but I think the implications going into it. So maybe more so from just an energy standpoint, there's a different energy and feeling behind it compared to, just another game.
So tomorrow at noon, who's going to be more hyped up? Is it going to be the coaches? Is it going to be the players? I mean, because there's that. It's different when you're just kind of coming down off that game. There's that. I think that ledge we all fell off as players. Coaches never are able to kind of replicate that, because they're a lot of times more amped up than the players are, because they can't do anything. They can't go play to get rid of those butterflies. Quinn, who's going to be more amped up tomorrow at noon? Is it going to be the players, or is it going to be the coaching staffs that have, I don't want to say they're at each other's throat, but they each know each other very well, and they've kind of avoided each other this year in anticipation for a match like this?
It's tough, because I think the girls are all buying into that same kind of hype, but I'm going to say the coaches are. I think they're going to be kind of amped up, ready to go more than anybody, even including the announcers that we have going out there. To be honest with you,
I don't know about that. We got. I'm thinking Billy's going out there. Is he? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Billy and Anthony.
So Billy and Anthony, like Anthony, this is perfect, because you got Billy, who's a hardcore Ursuline guy, and you got Anthony, who is a South Range grad. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. It'll be back and forth the entire way. So there'll be no homers, or maybe there'll be two homers, depending on which way you look at it. But it's going to be exciting. But Paul, you're the inside guy. I mean, we know Coach Farron's been looking at this. These are two teams, mind you, that go to Myrtle Beach at the exact same time. Their paths cross in a different state, never to play each other that I know of. But they know each other very well. And a lot of them, I think, cross over in the summers on different travel teams. So when you look at that, Paul, I mean, how much does Coach Farron and Spanky DeRose want this one?
They wanted bad. I mean, and you even look at, Coach Zolik, who his, daughter Kelly is on that team. He coaches a summer league team. He's got a handful of those Ursuline girls are on his travel team with some of the South Range girls. So these girls know each other, up and down, like they're friends, and they're going to be opponents come tomorrow. And I think it's just going to be one of those things where they're going to each kind of try to like show who the big dog is. Like, you got to beat our best. We've got to beat your best. And let's just go. I don't want to see a blowout, no matter if it was for one side or the other, because then I don't think you truly get what the game. I mean, I think this should be a game that's going to be 5-4, 7-6 or something. Comes down to the last inning where either you've got to score a run or you've got to hold the team from scoring a run. And that's I think what we want. We want to see that heavyweight just go out there and slugfest this thing and have a big fight. I think if you get a blowout either way, it's just going to kind of be a letdown. You're going to be like, well, that kind of stunk, It's like watching a Tyson fight. He knocked him out in 19 seconds. You're like, well, shit, where was all the hype for all this? This sucks, and just paid all this for pay-per-view and you go home, So it's like, I think this is going to be a great game. I mean, I hope the weather, breaks a little bit more so they can get this in and not have to worry about it. It's not going to be your normal, end of May, beginning of June game, because it's only going to be like, I think 55 or something tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, but here's a good question from Amo. He says, is the winner in a good spot to win the state, to ride the momentum?
I mean, I think it'll be good. I mean, looking at their bracket, though, I mean, there's still this team down there that everybody has to circle because they are just a monster powerhouse, and that's called Wheelersburg. Wheelersburg is going to be in the bottom half of that they will be the team that most likely comes out and they'll be seen in a championship, because I don't know what they do down there either. Like them and those teams out west in the MAC, like there's something that goes on that they just produce. Champion for the longest time was that way too.
Corn and milk, Paul. They produce corn and milk. It's all fun.
I mean, Wheelersburg, it just seems like they're always there. Like Champion was like always there. And that's going to be a buzzsaw that they're going to have to get through. But I think in the top half of the bracket, yeah. I think whoever wins this one, I think does get to the state championship game, in my opinion. I believe it.
Billy Mack's calling the shot. He says, I can confirm there will be a YSN school at state. Now, if he gets gutsy, he can say there's going to be a YSN school in the state championship. That's where corn fed.
He's guaranteed to say there's one in state because
they win.
One of them's going there for sure.
That's the Bill McCartney guarantee.
Yeah, there it is.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, you can talk out of both sides of your mouth. You're right all the time, right?
Oh, jeez. Here we go. He's gonna steal somebody's internet just to get back on and throw shade at you. When we come back, still a lot to talk about. We haven't got to obviously West Branch plays tomorrow at noon as well, so we'll keep an eye on that one. We still got to talk about the baseball.
I thought West Branch got moved to Sunday.
Did they got moved to Sunday?
I'll look while we're on break.
All right, we're going to look and find out. We will keep you, the people, updated for everywhere here on YSN Live. When we come back, we still have to talk about South Range Baseball, district champions. We still have to talk about JFK Baseball, district champions. And, of course, we have to talk about that team that is the Canfield freaking Cardinals winning a district title yesterday, as well as along with our friends over at YSU who made an early exit last night, unfortunately, out of the Horizon League tournament. So their season is officially over. We'll talk about all that and the G Bourbon Farms What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet coming up right after the break here on the YSN Power Hour Friday edition. Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience and comprehensive wealth strategy, we assist our clients attain their goals. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealthadvisors.com. Good luck, athletes.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we go the extra mile for you by finding you the right vehicle at the right price.
And by being with you for every mile of your journey.
Now, we're going the extra mile for you with an additional $1,500 on your trade, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you. Well, EB, well, there's Paul. There we go. Everybody's back now. Why do you guys go away during break?
I have an individual behind me.
Who? Let's talk to him.
I was joking.
She was
They
joking.
just saw you, so you're on.
Is it Maddie?
Is that Mama Pushkar?
Oh no.
You wouldn't recognize her right now.
Who, Maddie?
Hi.
Happy belated birthday, Maddie.
Thank you.
Happy belated birthday, Maddie.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, you're not going to thank Paul? That's messed up.
Yeah, really.
Go to hell, Munson.
Yeah.
Sit on your bucket.
Go pound salt, coach.
Yeah.
Guys, Paul, let's talk about South Range. You guys win the district championship again. This has been an unorthodox year for South Range. We've been over it over and over again, obviously with injuries and just the vibe. But the team comes through yet again, and in a big way. Talk to me about the way the team's feeling right now with another district championship to hang in the old mantle.
These guys were amped up. They were ready to go yesterday. We kind of went off the beaten path of how you're normally supposed to do your district or really district, regional, even state games. I mean, you're supposed to go 1 in your semifinals and throw your 2 in a championship game. And we took a chance and strayed from the norm and said, hey, we think our number 2 can win the semifinal game, and we're going to hold our 1 back. And it worked out great for us because, I mean, Skirpack throws a perfect game in the semifinals. These guys were amped up, and they knew that Mikos was ready to go. Brandon had a lot to prove. I mean, the last time he played in a district championship game, we lost, and he had that and that monkey on his back, and he didn't want to have it anymore. And he said he was ready to go. We were the away team, so on the bus ride there, he's like, guys, I need 1 run. 1 run, we got this thing. So we come out in the first inning, and we scored a run, and as the guys were coming in, he was laughing. He goes, game over. It's done. He goes, I got this. And we're all like, oh, okay. We're all just kind of like, all right, let's not get like too shitty about it. But he went out there and he backed it up. Our bats were alive and did exactly what we asked them to do. We had 12 hits on 5 runs, and he gave up 5 hits and 1 run. But the 1 run was at the bottom half of the 7th inning with 1 out, and it was a drop third strike, and the kid broke from third on home, and we wanted the out, so we weren't going to get this kid in a rundown and have something go wrong. Trey just threw the kid out at first base. We conceded the run, and hey, now we had 2 outs, and we were 1 out away from winning it. So Brandon went out there. He had 12 strikeouts, which now makes him the strikeout king here at South Range because Jake had it at 100, and Mikos came in with 92
for a year.
For the year,
okay.
Yeah, and so for the year he's at 104. So he was amped up and had a couple good hits in the game, and I mean those guys were just ready to go. And our energy's been high. They had a team meeting on Wednesday because just high school kids being high school kids, some stuff that they
don't need to know. Don't
yeah,
need to know.
They needed to figure some stuff out, and they said we want a players only meeting. We're going to take care of some stuff, and they got everybody They got the ship going the right way, and everybody's paddling in sync. And they said, let's go. It's our time to go. And so.
Does it remind you of the team from 3 years ago that won state? Because they were kind of at each other's necks earlier that year, and then they kind of figured it out that they need each other.
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities. I mean, it was really crazy because in that semifinal game, the home plate umpire, before the game, he goes, this is the 4th time I've had you guys this year. And we're like, oh, yeah. And he goes, last time I had you guys 4 times in 1 year was 2018. And I was like, well, I like that. I was like, okay.
Let him have you again.
Yeah. I was like, this is good. So, it's kind of been lining up that way. And we're taking it 1 game at a time. The kids are fired up. We've got little incentives for games, so like the kids are really amped up to go out there and win those games no matter what. And like the comment earlier, yeah, we did. We went up and played Gilmore earlier in the year. Gosh, it was a Saturday. It was cold as crap.
That was a PBR game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, it was windy and chilly and cold, and we lost 4-2. They threw their 1 because they're not really in the league, so they didn't matter for them. We threw 3 different guys that day. So, but it's going to be a great game. I mean, their 1 is good. I mean, he's one of the 5 kids that got picked in the district to be all Ohio. So kid's going to Penn State, and he can bring it about 90. And, we're going to put him up against Brandon, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. But, being a coach on the team, but also being a baseball guy and watching things, I think our bats are just a little bit better. We can hit the ball well. We just got to be able to tag up a kid who's going to throw about 90 miles an hour at us. So.
Well, you know what they say, the faster it comes in,
faster it goes out.
When is that game to be played?
That game will be next Thursday at 5 p.m. up at Massillon Jackson, that Ducky Stadium up there. So, beautiful facility up there. They have, they have
Massillon, Washington?
Massillon, Washington, yeah.
Okay.
Did I say Jackson?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Massillon, Washington. They've got just a great facility up there. Their indoor facility it's just like YSU's indoor facility, and they're a high school. I mean, it's crazy. And we've been up
we
there
had to
before.
go through last time, Paul, right?
Yeah, same place. So, and it's kind of weird too, because it's setting up the way the bracket sets up. It sets up like it did in 18. We're like, we're the home team for just the semifinal game. After that, whoever wins our game is going to be the visitors the entire way through the rest of the tournament. And that's how it was in 2018.
Yep.
So,
but it worked out because you guys almost always scored first.
Yeah. And that's big. I mean, whether it's softball or baseball, that's big. To get out there and get a run or two in the first inning puts a lot of pressure on the home team, because then now they've got to try to fight back from that. So, we're excited. The guys are ready to go. Like I said, they get a break off. We're giving them today off. We're going to practice tomorrow and pretty much almost every other day after that, because, we kind of look at Memorial Day as like how football teams look at Thanksgiving. You want to practice on Thanksgiving, which means you're deep into the playoffs for football. We want to practice on Memorial Day because that means that we're deep into baseball playoffs. So
that's awesome. That's very, very cool. We have to double check, because I'm hearing clamoring that the Salem Canfield game is on Wednesday now. At least that's what Poe was saying. Not that I necessarily believe that, because we were told Thursday at the game. But if that's the way it is, Homeboy's going to be at. Well, no, I won't be at the game Thursday because that's T-ball night in America.
Well, the rain's going to blow over by 6:30 too. So
Thursday. So, luckily for my standpoint, the Salem game's at 2:00. Salem Canfield game's at 2:00. So that gives me plenty of time to get back for T-ball night in America. But 5:00, I'd be pushing it. 5:00 game and a 6:00 start to the CC and Coco show.
Yeah, I see everything is on Thursday
Okay.
the 3rd. Canfield Salem says 2:00.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who gets that game. Because now things are whittled down to the finals, and the guys that I'm just going to throw out a name. Mr. Caberna has been wanting a shot. So, yeah. I mean, I thought you were taking it, so I wasn't sure. I'd love to, but I can't.
Yeah.
At 6:00, I mean, if you guys can put together a 20-minute victory, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
We're going to get rain. It doesn't matter. We're going to get rain.
When, Thursday?
Yeah, T-ball games are not to be made up, so.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, because you're taking the Salem Canfield game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
2:00 game. Yeah. I'm taking that. I wanted both of them. I was hoping that the Salem Canfield would be on Wednesday, and then I could get a Thursday. But that.
Oh, you mean the South Range game? Yeah, that one. It's kind of up in the air right now because the normal broadcaster is unconfirmed.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. Coach Seidel says he might want it.
There we go.
You do kind of need two for these kind of games.
Yeah.
So, listen, I'm just saying.
So,
Al's been very good to us.
I think we should mic Paul up.
Oh, no, I don't know if you want that.
Mic him up from the bucket. From the bucket.
Yeah. I didn't know. At first, I didn't know what you guys were saying. And we went to break. I looked up and I went into the text messages and I saw that picture. I'm like, shit, now it's confirmed,
Oh, you are Coach McBuckets.
Coach McBuckets. That's it,
All right. Next YSN series, bucket seats.
A couple of.
That's it. The girls yesterday, they had fun because they actually came to the game, and after it was over, everybody got their medals and the trophy presentation stuff, and then everybody's getting their family pictures, and the girls like, Dad, look at that, you got a nice gold medal for sitting on a bucket. I went, what the hell? I was like, I'm getting shit from my 10 and 8-year-olds over here.
Well, I can tell you this: at least you're not catching crap about sitting on a bucket winning Coach of the Year, like our Coach of the Year has got from some anonymous source. That's what irritates me. People don't realize how much coaches do, and how big of influences they are in these these teams, and especially when you make it this far. Like, to tell a coach, like, we bust Paul's chops because he's Paul. Like, he's one of the family. I don't really think that Paul does nothing. There's nobody here that thinks that these coaches, whether they be varsity or JV, do nothing. But if you actually sit there and you would, I guess, and this could kind of roll into one of my beefs, but if you sit there and you actually think a coach does nothing and gets something in return, you have issues. Like, you have a problem.
Well, I mean, think about where am I at here? These two guys here, whatever my angles go, basketball coaches. It's always reversed, so I'm always kind of like, there we go. These two guys here, they're basketball coaches. What do basketball coaches normally do during a game? They're sitting on a chair. So are you just going to say that all basketball coaches do is sit on a chair all the time and they just call plays? No, during practices, you're running practice. During the game, you're charting things. You're doing different stuff. Like, I always think it's funny. I mean, I don't care about being called buckets or whatever, because you know what? I mean, listen, I'm having a good time, so I'm getting paid. I get medals. I enjoy the victories with the kids just as well. So whatever, you can kiss my ass. You want to call me a bucket sitter?
I'm not kissing your ass, Paul.
I'm not saying you guys. I'm just saying people who want to give me shit about it, or give any kind of coach shit about it, because that's listen. Hey, we got those two coaches of the year. Shit, one of them's undefeated still, and the other one is playing for a regional championship.
Dude, I'm just thinking of Kyrie getting buckets. Getting buckets, Paul.
If that's what it takes, if you just got to sit on a bucket to be undefeated or play for a regional championship, sounds good to me.
Sebring coaches field kicks. Oh, I get it. Got it. Let's talk about the other games that happened as well. And this is the deepest we've gone in a local in some time from just all local standpoint. JFK, guys, how unbelievable is this? Yesterday they win the district title, a big game over Heartland, a red-hot Heartland team. They go from scoring 17 runs in the game before the district semis to being shut out in the district finals. JFK has won district titles in baseball, basketball, and football this year. And the common denominator is Cam Hollabaugh, the only senior on the baseball team.
His neck's gotta hurt.
Did they not do it last year too? Like, they got districts in basketball last year.
Don't think they won districts in baseball.
Okay.
5 out of 6 is still not bad.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty damn good.
It's been the 19 year, right?
Yeah, it was Logan Bell's senior year. So was it 19 or 18? I can't remember.
2 years ago.
They bounced Lisbon out of the playoffs that year.
Because there was no baseball last year, so everything was washed.
So that's what there it is. That's why they didn't win the districts last year.
So he's 5 for 5.
Essentially, yeah.
If they did taken out.
Yeah, I mean, that's you think about that. That's unbelievable. That is a career, guys, and like
a lot of gold.
His name or his identity, like, is he gonna get like a Rocky statue in the front of JFK? Like,
they might as well, man.
Oh, he's back.
He's trying.
I'm back.
And I would like to think, even though they didn't play last year, that it would have been JFK's to lose.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I just got off the phone.
You look at the context clues. They win this year. They won 2 years ago. I mean, anything could happen, but
right.
I'm on that train.
I would venture to say, like, if we were putting Skittles on it, I would venture to say, yeah, JFK probably wins district last year too. But as we all know, sports are played for a reason. Nonetheless, he's probably he's going to be the most decorated person around here, as far as accolades and just team success as well, because we're football-wise, they're in state, 3 or 4 years ago again too? Mm-hmm. So
let me just put a wrinkle into this. There's 16. one team that moved up this year that's normally in D4 baseball.
Springfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they beat JFK 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep, because they went on a nice run.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win the districts 2 years ago.
Yeah, they went to D3 this year.
Yeah. But I mean, that stuff happens every year. Teams go up and down, and then the excitability of. I mean, we know a couple coaches personally that when they're like, oh, this team went up, our chances increased of.
Oh, right. I'm just saying they're not normally in D3. I mean, this is kind of new territory for Springfield.
Oh, absolutely, and they still held their own.
And they should go back down next year.
Which is
they're like 4 kids over.
There'll be a lot of changing next year too, because they'll put that competitive balance back into effect. So you'll see a lot of moving around with schools because they didn't do that this year.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. I think we're about a year or two away from seeing the sliding scale of our conferences start coming around again. The shakeup. I mean, you can almost feel it right now. There's the honeymoon's over. There's some of these schools that are like, I'm tired of playing this school. Like, why do we always have to play for good or for bad? Why do we have to play this school? It's coming. We all know it's coming. There's that feeling again, like we had a few years ago. 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. So, I feel it coming. I think everybody.
I really wish they would adopt the Pennsylvania style. It's just everything makes sense. Surprisingly, like it all, and something PA does well. It's just they do a great job.
There's not many things they do well over there.
Easy. We're trying to court them right now, Paul.
It's a great thing you do, Pennsylvania, all the time.
Don't do much.
We love paying 60 cents more for gas.
Yeah, their sports are great. Yeah, gas prices, government stuff over there.
Oh, jeez.
Stop. We're going down the hole.
We'll come back out, though.
Donald Munson over there. JFK, congratulations again on a district title. Also, want to give hats off to Canfield. Quinn, your Cardinals getting it done, and in a big way, a 10-0 victory yesterday over Canton South. I mean, are you a proud Cardinal alum?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a. Will you stop making noise? My God!
You got a dog back there too?
No, it's just her. It's unbelievable.
All right, so confirmation, breaking news from Firestone. West Branch has officially been moved to Sunday at 3:00.
Nobody happier than Anthony Hartwig, I guarantee you.
He already texted me. He goes, because he was going to go, he had to go to West Branch, and I was going to be by myself for the Ursula and South Rainy. So disappointed the whole game. Like, you could just hear it in his voice. He's like, this is awesome, but that I'm doing this game, but I'm going to miss the really big.
Well, I made him happy today, though, because I called him and talked to him because Alec was going to go back to Firestone.
He told me, yeah.
And Anthony still is. Anthony was coming back to YSU because Anthony and Billy were going to do YSU no matter what, and Alec was going to go do the West Branch game because
poor Alec gets moved again.
So, well, you know what? Anthony really liked working with him, so I actually probably think that we can leave him together because you said these bigger games leave 2 guys on. So,
all right, I'm good with it.
Anthony really likes him too. I met him for the first time last night because he came into our game, and all the talk and emails and texts that I do with all the announcers, you don't ever get to see him sometimes face to face,
or call him.
Call him, yeah. And I went up to the press box and I talked to him last night, and he's like, "Hey, finally good to meet you." I'm like, "Yeah, you too." So, he'll just get moved to Sunday now. So.
Paul, you're gonna see that after the show, and you're gonna go, "Oh, what an a-hole." Let's talk too about Mooney. Mooney loses 1-0 in a just absolute heartbreaker. That was a matchup that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Mooney versus South Range. I wanted to see Mikos versus his former team. Unfortunately, will not happen. So congratulations to the Cardinals on a great season that just comes up a little bit short of their goal. And then finally, guys, YSU out. They lose 2 games yesterday. First to UIC, then to Milwaukee. The Cinderella season, really, I don't see it as a Cinderella season as much as I do a comeback season. Like, this is a season that is Danny Bertolini's real year. Like, what we expect to get with this squad moving forward with the recruiting that they've done all across the board. This is a stand-up year. 32 wins for the YSU baseball team. They flew the Y 32 times. I think this is the standard moving forward, guys. And with the recruits they have coming in, the red shirts that they had, and obviously with what could be in the transfer portal, YSU baseball could be set up for some big things moving forward. How proud are you of this team? Quinn, we'll start with you because you're pretty close.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great year for him, and I mean the class that's graduating was there when I was graduating, so I got to meet a lot of them and kind of followed their careers and stuff, and seen how they've basically just completely transformed the program from where it was when they came in to now with Coach Bertolini, and I'm excited moving forward because, like you said, the class that's coming in is incredible, and they got a lot of good red shirts too.
Mac, you're the next closest to this team. I mean, how proud are you? You got to call some games, and obviously you know a lot of these guys very, very well. How proud are you about turning this program around?
Yeah, I think this is, I mean, if you didn't know who Coach Bertolini was, I think, it's definitely his coming out party for sure. What a accomplishment, 31 wins. I mean, we've talked about it's been a long time, 32 wins. It's been a long time since we've won 30 games, and we talked about, is this the year we could break 20? And went way beyond that. Some opportunities, transfer portals, new guys coming in. It's an exciting time to be a Penguin. If you're part of that baseball team, this is pretty neat, man. It's pretty neat.
Try to give him the slow clap on social media today with the piñata, and I'm just so proud. A couple years ago, we're talking about a team that was over 20 losses before they even got their first victory, and now we're sitting here with 32 victories. Very, very proud of my friend and the head coach of the YSU baseball team, Dan Bertolini, Shane Davis, Eric Bennell, and of course Eric Smith. So it's very depressing to see it end like this. I don't like tournaments, like that where if you lose, you play an hour later or whatever that was. Because if you're having a bad day, you're going to have a really bad day. And it was just a bad day for the Penguins. They caught us on a bad day, and they ousted us from the tournament. So the tournament to be decided, the game should be underway by now with Wright State and UIC, with Milwaukee waiting the loser. And then the winner of that game will play the winner of the game prior. So interesting stuff. But again, YSU, congratulations on a fantastic year. We're all proud of you here in Grit City. That's going to get us to our What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet, brought to you by G. Berbick Farms. Visit them on the web at gberbickfarms.com. Their family's farm to your family's freezer. Let's go with EB. Let's go reverse skate here on what is your filet, what is your beef. EB, go.
Actually, it's not a beef or filet. It was just something I saw the other day, and with maybe it's a beef in a sense of people don't always realize all this stuff, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I don't think there's an emphasis, or it's still kind of a new thing to where people kind of push it off to the side. So I just think it's one of those things, like, if you are someone who suffers from like a mental illness or anything like that, like me personally, I deal with anxiety. I have moments to where when my life changes, things get kind of crazy and I get a little manic. But just the beef that people think there's something wrong with people, and it's not necessarily something they can control. It's just, I like to call them, they have moments or moments of weaknesses or however you like to look at it. So my beef is with the people who kind of say, oh, well, you can really, you just need to do better or something like that. Look, a lot of these people try to do it. It's a real thing. So sometimes, look, don't be the one to push people down, but, maybe put your hand out and help lift them up.
Love it. Paulie, what do you got?
Hey, I'm still riding on the filet. Raider baseball team being district champs after having no season last year and then losing a heartbreaker the year before. It's good to be back there and going back to Massillon. So I'm excited, and and our girls team doing great too. So it's a great day to be a Raider. Fillets all around.
Max Solo.
My beef is real simple. It is internet companies, and when you speak to them, how they think you're stupid. When you pick up the
router, sir?
Did you reset the router? Did you check? Did you test it? Did you do this? Did you? Yes. Why do you think I'm calling you? You think I want to speak to you today and waste 10 to 15 minutes of my life talking to you, having you talk to me like a child? No. Stop.
Sir, can you just unplug it for 5 seconds and then plug it back in? That'll solve
it.
Oh,
did you do it for 28 seconds? Because it's got to be for 30. If you don't do it for 30, how about just fix my shit?
Quincy.
I got 2 beefs. One of them, I just got kicked out of my own basement. I don't know how the hell that happened, but I did. Second beef, I ordered 30 wings last night. Left 15 for lunch today. Woke up, they're gone. Don't know which fat ass took them, but it wasn't mine.
Whoa,
It wasn't
whoa,
me.
whoa.
So, someone
was
took
it
them.
Poorhouse Wings? Was it Poorhouse Wings?
No, it wasn't. Those wouldn't have
Then
been.
it wasn't that. Then you're good.
Wow. That's mean.
And I think it's the same person that kicked me out of my own basement. So
Potesta.
could have been.
Hey, how's the weather? Is things blowing over up there?
We got
no. With no signs of stopping.
Also, I want to. Here's a beef. It's going to be short. It's going to be very vague. But legislators need to do a better job of taking care of kids in our foster system. Just pure and simple. More to come on this one. But if you're a foster family or you know anybody that fosters children any age, make sure that you know how much you appreciate what they're doing, what they're going through, and understanding that there are no guarantees. The foster system is completely broken in the fact that the system in general is a joke. It's just an absolute joke. So more to come on that one, but yeah, that's my beef today. I can't believe how bad the judicial system treats the youth that are need better examples and role models for their futures. Just pure and simple. So that's my beef today. Brought to you by G. Berwick Farms. Visit them on the web at gberwickfarms.com. Guys, a great show as always. We will see you on Monday on a Memorial Day edition of the YSN Power Hour, and we might have a special surprise over the weekend, a little pop-up stream on Monday of a parade for Memorial Day. So we'll let you know more about that as we get more information. We will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your family, and of course, stay safe from all of us here at the YSN Power Hour. But until then, we will wave the